Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy start of a brand new week. It is a major holiday here in the US today. Hopefully, everyone's taken off, sleeping in a little bit, and we get to have lots of people on because nobody has to rush off to work. I'm going to wait for y'all to join. I'm going to jump over here in the comments so that I can see when everyone's here. Happy Monday. I'm so excited for this conversation this morning because I'm sharing in a very intimate way. I think, someone's spirituality and their spiritual beliefs is usually something that's very private. And I'm excited to delve into this and to share because I feel like we read all the same books about this topic, and there is an amazing book that for whatever reason, we don't talk about as much. And so I'm excited to share with you. Hey, Maxine and Helene and Chantel, good morning. As you all are coming in, give each other some love. It is a brand new week. It's my birthday week. So I'm a little bit more excited than usual. I was telling my husband yesterday, I don't associate with age. I don't I don't identify as my age. So even though it's a birthday and I'm getting 1 year wiser, it is it's just one of those things, right? I get to celebrate this week and it's a holiday week. So that's amazing. All right, here we go. All right. So you all are coming in. I'm going to jump right into this conversation. And, these are my top 5 Bible verses that have helped me to stay on this wealth creating journey. And you're going to see why when I share them with you. But they address 5 different things. And so here you are. Yay! Happy birthday week. Thank you. I'm really excited to share this with you. And I know that in doing this, there are some of you that are not Christian, that may not believe even in God, that don't read the Bible. And so I'm grateful that you're all here and all open to this conversation. And I want you, whatever your belief system is, I just want you to hear what I have to say as if we were talking about The Secret, right? Just a regular book. Or we were talking about The Alchemist. One of my favorite books is The Alchemist, and it's just a made-up story with universal truths. So that's the way I want you all to listen to this. Whatever your belief system is, I'm not here to it's not my job to try to convince you of a certain religion, but it is my job to awaken your awareness to some truths that are universal. No matter what religion you practice, no matter what your belief systems, if you want to be on this wealth creating journey using the power that you already have and understanding the laws that are at work, the rules, right? It's like one of my daughter's greatest things is right now learning the rules of the game called life. And so you have you're disadvantaged if you're in a game and you don't know the rules. Like, you're just not going to win if you don't know the rules. By chance you might, but what we want to do is we want to understand, what are the rules, what are the laws at play here that can help me to experience the desires that I have for myself, that God, universe, source has placed in my heart. Okay, here we go. So what I decided to do is to share these verses with you. I want you to listen from your own understanding, your own belief systems. And I don't want to say the word but, and I want you to listen for the truth. You will know when your heart hears the truth, you will know that it's the truth. So these 5 Bible verses, here are the areas that they help me in my life. They help me to understand the truth. What was the plan for my experience, this thing called life? It helps me with asking, because one of the things that I know for myself and so many of the women that I serve is that asking for the things that we want, the desires that have been placed on our heart, even though we're aware that we have the desire for them, taking it to that next step and asking, there's a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, a lot of you're a sinner, like a lot of things wrapped around just asking for what we want, right? And especially as women, it's not ladylike to ask. It's not ladylike to ask for what you want. So I know that for me, this is an area that I have to grow in, and these verses help me. In fact, I think, let's see, I think three of them, maybe, right, three of them are just about asking, because that is my greatest area that I have to grow in. And then the other one is believing, the importance of believing, how to handle when I worry, and especially, I just know that that's a part of being a human, is our human eyes look at things in the physical realm and we start to worry. And so for me, I'm going to share with you the verse that helps me with that. And then how so many of us, and I call myself, anytime I call anybody out, I put myself at the front of the line, right? So many of us, I feel, how is this going to happen, is one of the things that we struggle with. So I'm going to share my Bible verse that helps me with that. Ready? Yay! Look at all these beautiful people here this morning. Mwah. Happy, happy, happy Monday. Okay, so the first one that I learned as a child, I grew up in school in Jamaica, where we actually, part of our education system is that we learned the Bible, we read from the Bible, we sang Christian songs. And there's something about that I feel, for me, really helped me, that I think my children growing up here don't have, because they're just some things that are such a part of my consciousness now that really help me in this walk of life. Like, I don't have to think about it. I don't have to go seek to find this information. I just grew up with it in my being and my knowingness, and it has served me. And the first one that I go back to all the time to remind myself, Tasha, this is how you were meant to experience life, by your creator, right? So when I say God, you can say God, universe, source, supreme being, whatever it is that you believe in. For me, you're going to hear me say God. I sometimes say God and universe interchangeably, but I understood this was God's intention for my life. And it is the 23rd Psalm. I absolutely, like, I could just be in the middle of a day and just need that reminder, Tasha, the Lord is your shepherd. You shall have no want. You will lack for nothing. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And those of you that know the 23rd Psalm, it goes on to say, your life experience is meant for you to lay in green pastures, to be led beside quiet waters. For me, that is just like, I'm meant to have this life of peace. That was the plan, to be laid down in green pastures, just like, just to me, that whole scene is just calm, peaceful, easy living. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right path for his name's sake. Even when I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. I'm never meant to fear anything. Even when life seems hard and challenging and it feels like I'm literally in the valley of death, I am not meant to fear anything, because God is with me. Source, universe, whatever it is, like, the universal truth of this is that your life is not meant for evil to take you over, right? You need not worry about things like that. Your rod and your staff comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over. This, for me, is my understanding of, I was meant to have abundance overflowing in my life. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Like, that's what life is meant to be. Goodness shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I will dwell in this truth, the truth of this promise forever. And so for me, that is number one. I just need that first verse. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall lack nothing. That is the truth of my existence. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not lack anything. If you want to say universe, source, the bottom line is, you were created to lack nothing. Nothing. So that's number one. That's like the foundation of my belief system, who I am, what makes me know, like I know, like I know, like I know. I was meant to have abundance. It was meant to overflow in my life. I was meant to have an easy life, right? It says I'm meant to lay in green pastures by quiet waters. It doesn't get any more easy and relaxed than that. So that is for me, the 23rd Psalm for me is this is the plan for life. This is the truth of your existence. Um, oh, I love that. Barbara have goosebumps. She says she put that on her sister's card for her funeral. I love the line of fearing no evil. It's so heartwarming. Yes. Okay, so now I want to go to, okay, so this is the plan. This was the plan for my life, but now I'm in this human experience, right? And my mind sometimes separates me from this truth, from the knowing of who I am, what life was meant to be, what the plan ultimately was for my life. Sometimes my little ego self, my mind, my human self lets me forget. And so these are the verses that help me to remember, okay, maybe you forgot, but you are aware of these desires that are in your heart. All of us, every single one, me and you, if you close your eyes and I ask you, what do you want from life? You know the top 10 things you want from life. We all do. We're aware of our desire. So how do you and I go from, I have forgotten what the plan was, that I was never going to lack anything and that my cup was going to run over, but I'm not experiencing that in my life. Like I'm in the gap, I'm in the in between, and I'm aware in my spirit of what my cup runneth over looks like. I'm aware. I have in my consciousness, these are my desires, right? Your cup runneth over shows up within you as your desires. This is what you personally want and desire from life. So how do you bridge the gap? For me, I ask. And that's why I know that for me, 3 of these verses have to do with asking, because I have to constantly remind myself. So this next one is Luke 12, verse 32. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid, for it is your Father's pleasure to give you the kingdom. It's your Father's greatest pleasure to give you the kingdom. Okay, I want to break that down and share with you how that supports me. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid of what? Do not be afraid to ask, Tasha. Do not be afraid to ask. Can you all just type that for me? Do not be afraid to ask. That is the number one thing. Do not be afraid to ask. I have to work on that. Sometimes I am afraid to ask. Sometimes my thing that I become aware of seems so big or so, honestly, sometimes greedy, right? And I have to remember, no, you are meant for your cup to runneth over. Ask. Do not be afraid to ask. There you go. Do not be afraid to ask. And the Science of Getting Rich says you need not hesitate, not only to ask, but to ask largely. Don't just ask for enough. Don't be afraid to ask largely. Ask for the biggest, wildest things that your heart's desire. Do not be afraid. And then it says, it's your Father's pleasure to give you the kingdom. The universe, everything that exists is here for your desires to be manifested. It's the reason it all exists. It's the reason this energy of plenty exists. It wouldn't be here, right? Like I said, we don't have VCRs anymore. We don't have video cassettes. I'm aging myself because there's no need for it anymore, right? We went to CDs and now we don't even have CDs. We have our phones for music, right? We have all of our Apple products for music. So we no longer needed videos and VCRs and CDs. There's no purpose for it. So it no longer exists. Well, everything that exists is here for our desires to be manifested. It is the purpose and pleasure of it all is that we have our cups running over. So for me, I have to understand, I don't need to be afraid to ask. It is God's pleasure to give me the kingdom. And I put that into myself as a parent, because that's the way I think of, like, the creator, God made me in its likeness. And I say to myself, okay, how would I feel to give my kids the things that they desire, like to have the ability to give it, to have so much, to have such an infinite supply that anything that they desire, I could give to them. how would that make me feel? It would be my greatest joy that they don't have to worry. They don't have to think about student loans. They don't have to figure out how they're going to buy their first house. Like, I have plenty and I can just give it to them. It's my joy, right? So I have to remind myself of that. There you go. So then the other thing is the kingdom. It's your Father's pleasure to give you the kingdom. What is the kingdom? All that there is, everything: truth, knowledge, health, love, wealth, everything, material things, everything that you could desire, all of it, whether it's physical or non-physical, it's the kingdom. It's all of it, all of the things that are in your heart as desires, right? It's your Father's pleasure to give it all to you. So that's my first one. I have to constantly remind myself. Okay, the other one is Matthew 7, verse 7 and 8. And this one you all know very well. Ask, and it is given to you. I have to remind myself because I see this in me and I see this in others. Sometimes it's like, I'm afraid to ask because what if I don't get it? I literally have women who say, Tasha, I'm afraid to ask because what if I don't get it? And I want to say, that's because you don't understand the promise. The promise says, ask and it is given unto you. Seek and you will find. Go seek what you're looking for and you will find it. Knock and the door shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asketh, receiveth. Everyone that seeketh, findeth. And everyone that knocks, it shall be opened. The door shall be opened for you. So ask, knowing that you will receive, knowing that you ask for your desires, ask for the things that you desire, that you experience as wealth. Ask, knowing the second you ask, it's already done. You must receive it. You will receive it. Sometimes we ask and then we're worrying about if we're going to receive. So it's kind of like a half-hearted ask. It's kind of like an ask in fear or asking like, yeah, I'll do it, Tasha, because you said so. But like, I don't really believe it. And I just want to inspire you. The formula is ask, knowing that you receive it. Everyone who asks receives. Seek. What is it that I have to always remind myself? What am I seeking? I'm seeking more than anything wisdom. Those of you that know me know my brand, my thing that is all things Tasha is the ultimate at the end of this life is to hear, well done, good and faithful servant. You understood the assignment and you maximize your capacity and your capability with the life that you were given. I gave you 5 talents, Tasha, and you turned it into 10. Well done, good and faithful servant. Like that for me is the end all, right? So then if it says seek, what do I want to seek? I'm always seeking wisdom and truth so that I can take what I have and maximize it. I also know that seek and you will find. My husband has this thing. He says, how comes, when all the people that you tell me go talk to, the spiritual advisors that you recommend, they all end up hearing about these grand things for their life. And I said, because the people who seek will find. Everyone who went seeking will find. So everyone hears grand things for their lives. The people who are not hearing those things are not seeking. They're not seeking, so they don't get to hear those things, right? Everyone who seeks will find. The other thing is knock and the door shall be open for you. This for me is a thing, a credence that I live by, which is I put myself at the doors of opportunity. I put myself at the door. That is something, especially in business, that I say, I understand the impression of increase. I understand being an advancing personality. I understand win-win relationships and situations. So one of the things that I'm proud to say about my life is that I find the rooms, I enter the rooms, right? I sit at the table, I make myself be present, I work on my energy so that when I'm in a space where there are others that can support me in advancing my mission and I can support them, that I am knocking at that door. I knock at the door, right? And I love the piece about the action of, I don't just stand at the door, knock. That action piece, it's not enough to stand at the door of opportunity. All of us have incredible amounts of opportunity every single day in our life, every single one of you. But who knocks? Who takes the action to knock? I know I'm committed to doing that because I understand the formula, right? Ask, seek, and knock, take the action. So that's number 2 for me. The other one is, there you go. I love when my goddesses are all in here. Okay, so the other one is Mark 11, verse 24. Whatever you ask for in prayer, whatever you ask for in prayer. And if you're like, Tasha, I don't pray. Well, when you journal, prayer is is whatever method you use to ask, right? So for some of us, it's literally on your knees, closing your eyes and praying to God. But also understand that you're asking when you journal, when you visualize, when you set an intention. It's the same thing as, it's another form of prayer. It's how you ask, right? You ask God, universe, source. That's your way of asking. And so it says, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it shall be yours. This part I need to remember. The first two was, Tasha, it's okay to ask largely, know that when you ask, you're going to get it. But I need for myself, and when I share and teach, I need to remind everyone there's a little piece there about believing. You must believe. When you ask and you believe, you will receive it. So I need to remind myself of that. Okay, so those are my 3 for asking. Okay, here is the other one. I love it. Maxine says prayer is communication with God, right? I heard this thing. If prayer is communication with God, intuition is God answering you. Your intuition is God answering you. Okay, so the other one, yes, Lisa says, yes, believe. That is something that I just want to take another extra second to say, the importance of believing on this journey. So many ask, we all need to believe. That's the next part. Believe that you will receive it, believe that it is done. Okay, what about those moments when I worry? What about those moments when I get anxious and I just don't see it in the physical? I don't know. I'm like just in my head about it. It's overwhelming. I'm stressed out. What do? I think every single person should know this particular Bible verse, and it is Philippians 4, verse 6. I cannot remember the first time I heard this. I want to say it was when I moved to the States and I was going to church, and I can't remember this where in time. I just remember the moment when it was revealed, this passage was revealed to me, and it's almost as if somebody gave me oxygen, and I couldn't breathe and somebody gave me oxygen, right? This has served me so many times, and I just want to share the universal truth of it with you. Do not be anxious about anything. That is the law. Don't be anxious. Do not waste your energy, your time, your mental capacity to worry about anything. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition and with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. Whatever, and then it goes on in verse 8, it says, whatever is admirable, praiseworthy, think about such things. Here is why I love that. Tasha, don't worry. What should you do instead of worry? Give thanks. Do not worry. This is the universal truth of this verse. Don't worry about stuff. Instead, should you do instead? Give thanks for the thing, whatever it is you're worrying about. I wonder if the money's going to be there. I wonder if I'm going to be able to buy the new house. I wonder if, like success is going to happen for me. Whatever you're worrying about, the rule says don't worry. Instead, give thanks. Give thanks that wherever what you have right now, you have, and give thanks instead for the thing you're worrying about that you've already received it. Right? So all of these play back and forth for me. Ask, don't worry, give thanks that you have already received it, know that you've already received it, and know that the ultimate plan was for you to have everything, for your cup to runneth over. And the last bonus one, which I was like, Tasha, that's 5. And another one would be 6. But this is a bonus one because I really want to support you when you worry about how. And I feel like this would be part 2 of worrying. The thing that we worry about the most is, how is my wealth going to be created? How is it going to happen for me? And so I love the verse. I don't even know what the actual Bible verse is, but those of you that are like, you are from Bible University and you know the scripture like the back of your hand, please support me in typing, because somebody's going to want to know where to find this verse. But it's the one that says, your ways are not my ways. My thoughts are not your thoughts, Tasha. Your ways are not my ways. And for me, when I worry about how, that's what I have to go to, and I have to remember, like, God, universe, source, the supply and the way that something can happen is infinite. Every single one of us can think about a time in our life when we wanted something to happen. We didn't know who, what, where, how, or when. And then when you look back at your life and you see how it worked out, you're like, wow, I would have never even thought that that would be the way. I could have never imagined, right? Your ways are not my ways. So why are you taking your time and your energy to worry about how? I feel like that's what God's saying. Why are you worrying about how? That's my job. Your ways and how you figure it out, it's going to happen, not my way. That's not my way. And also in that verse is the remembering that there, like, the ways available to God, universe, source, are infinite. I cannot even think about all the ways it could happen. So I don't want that to be my job. That's not my job. That's the job of God, right? So here you go. Your ways are not. Deanna's putting it in here. So I got Maxine saying it's in Proverbs, and Deanna, a couple of people saying Isaiah 55 verse 8. Okay, so there we go. All right, those are my 5. I would love to hear from you. Like, this is going to end, and I would love to hear from you, though. I want you to type in here, what is your go-to Bible verse for this walk called life? And specifically, when you think about the desires of your heart for wealth, what is the one that you stand by? What is the one that like, use to reinforce this thing called the mind, the human mind, and the human consciousness? Like, sometimes it just separates us from the truth. And so what is the thing from this book that you go back to? And I say this, I've said this a couple of times. For me, the Bible is the greatest book on manifestation because that just became like global and widespread. But we've had these truths all along, right? We just think, oh, it's just associated to church and religion, and that's it. The Bible is literally the greatest book on manifestation that's ever written. I believe that the life of Jesus Christ was meant for us to see. When you are living in the truth, when you are living in the power that is within you, when you have sought the kingdom and found it, right? The truth, the wisdom that's inside of you, this is what it looks like. You can walk on water. You can turn water into wine. You can take, a small little serving of food and serve 5,000 people. You can do miracles. You can move the mountain. You can say to the mountain, move and be moved. Like, that's what we're capable of. I truly believe that the life of Jesus was meant to show us this is what you can do. And it says in the Bible, this and greater than this you can do, right? So for me personally, that's the way I look at it. I hope that this really supported you and got you to think in a little different way. I love it. Ooh, Deanna says hers is Romans 5 verse 17. Call those things which are not as though they are. Ooh, Deanna, that's a good one. I love it. Okay, so come on. I want all of you typing in here so that I can learn from each of you. I absolutely love that. And here's the other thing that I will say, and this is the last one before we go today. Next week, Monday, September 11th, we have our Wealth Embodiment Week. Okay. One of the things, again, you heard me say a lot today, is how we have an idea of a desire that we have, and then we are separate from it in the illusion that we can't have it right now. I want to show you in 7 days how to embody wealth. We're going to have fun for an entire week. And so I know that so many of you have been registered for this, but if it's your first time and you're not yet registered, go ahead and type the word play. Type the word play in the comments, and you must check Facebook Messenger. Check Facebook Messenger and make sure that you're registered to get, because we're going to have 7 days of activities, and you want to get your activity every day. It's going to be fun. Monday, we start off with something really fun. I'm going to share what that is with you maybe sometime over the weekend, because you have to prep for it, but it's going to be so fun. Get your phones ready for selfies, because we're going to do prizes for people who post the best the best pictures of themselves doing this embodiment week. It's going to be a lot of fun. Type the word play, make sure you're registered. Here's the other thing. After that's done, we're going to have our 5-day wealth activation. So we have 7 days of embodying wealth and then 5 days of activation. What do I mean by activation? It's where I'm going to do a lot of teaching, but I want you to think of it as there's a switch within you that you have turned off. Like, life has just caused you to turn that switch off about what is the truth of who you are, what you're capable of, what it is that you desire and you can have. And so in this activation, someone sent me a message this weekend and had me in tears. Oh my gosh, who was it? Vicky Johnson, if you're watching, she sent me a message about something she was experiencing, and she said in the message, Tasha, you've changed my life. Like, it's unrecognizable. You are a wealth activator. And I said, yes, that is what I am. I know. I'm happy that you are using the language now. I've always known I'm a wealth activator. And so that's going to be my gift to you for those 5 days. So get yourself registered. If you do the registration for next week, it will also prompt you to register for the 5-day wealth activation. And the reason I want you to know that is you're also going to be given a link to share all of this with your friends. The people with the most points get a few things. We have 3 trips this time. 1, Grand Canyon, Cancun, and New York. We have 3 trips that we have eligible for winners. Every single person you invite gives you a chance to win. And we're also giving away 5 tickets to our VIP live event in December, right? So the people at the top of the referral, make sure you invite every single person that you know, get to enter to win those 3 trips, as well as the tickets to the live event. And then we have lots of other gifts. Like, if you refer 5 people, I think you get one of my manifestation mugs. You get to choose which one you want. You get a money meditation video. There are lots of things just for referring a few people even. So please go ahead and share. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't wait for next week. I cannot wait. I have my whole week planned of all the activities and all the fun that we're going to have. What else did I want to tell you? I think that's it. Go have a wonderful holiday day today, those of you that are in the States, and an amazing week. I'll see you Thursday morning on Clubhouse. And watch your email, watch your Facebook Messenger, watch your text, like all the good stuff to get us ready for next week is going to be delivered this week. So make sure you're on it, because you want to be prepared. Right? Remember, prizes are at stake here. Prizes are at stake, and fun, lots of fun. And I know that I'm in my wealth energy already. I know it's already happened, because those of you that are in the Facebook group with us, you saw Instagram served me up this beautiful dress for $5,700. I was like, Instagram, you must know that this is where I'm heading, where I'm going to spend $5,700 on a dress like it's $57. That's the way my mind is. Like, just imagine, like, you saw this dress and it had this price, and that number to you was the same as spending $57, right? Like, it would be not a big deal, and you love this dress, and it wouldn't even have to be a thought, you would buy it. So of course I went to Saks yesterday to find the dress. They're like, nope, we only sell it online. I was like, of course. Anyway, it's all evidence. Those are the things that I know. Like, my wealth vibration is increasing because all of this stuff is just being served up all around me. So hopefully you're ready for that too. Mwah. I love you. Go have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you all next Monday. Bye, everyone.